This is also on the more traditional end of roguelike ASCII views, but it's very different from crawl as well, so we're doing a bit of compare and contrast here. I've skipped past character creation because I tend to take my time with the Adam character creating screen. The big thing to keep in mind with that actually is the fact that it looks entirely monochrome. Instead of crawl's use of background, any selections you make are selected instantly. And so yeah, it's very different looking. Anyway, I'm playing a trollish beast fighter just for the record. I haven't played Adam in years, and I was never very good at it in the first place, but experimenting with different characters and character styles, so that's that. The first thing we see is just this corner. This is actually an overworld map, but we only see parts of it because that's all we've seen so far. What is the look, man? As I told you, it has been a very long time since I've played. Oh, and another way to contrast with crawl. No way to change the font. I believe this is just good old-fashioned Courier New. It's not Consolas for sure. It's not the raster terminal font for sure. I'm fairly sure it is just good old-fashioned Courier, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I can't change that, and I can't change the font size, so I apologize in advance if you're trying to watch this in not HD on or on a mobile device. It's just not gonna look good, and I'm sorry, I can't really do anything about that. Anyway, so once again the @ sign is me. This is actually an overworld map, and so as opposed to crawl, where every tile just represented an area immediately around me, one square away, one turn away, this is actually a long path, and this is a large mountain range. So as we keep exploring, we'll see other parts of the world as we go. So let's keep moving. Equipment suddenly seems to weigh less. Probably some strength increase or something. Here's a road. Here are some hills, which are represented in the overworld by these tildes. These ampersands represent forests, if I remember correctly. Let's evade the grizzly bear. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Here we go. Examine. So yeah, these are mountains. These are high mountains which we can't pass at all. Nothing special. This is the road. This is the way out of the overworld. The goal in Adam is somewhere over here. I don't remember exactly where is the main dungeon. After spending some time here in the main part, in the beginning, more beginner-friendly section, and or going through a shortcut up here, you go down to the main dungeon and you kill or otherwise deal with the chaos gate that resides at the bottom. So either you go in and kill Andor Dracon, or you just close the gate. And you have to, I think, at least in some cases, you have to come back up and come out the way you came. Don't quote me on it. As I said, it's been a long time since I've played Adam. I have never won at it. Mostly because, unlike some people, I have never scummed and I have never save scummed in my life. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Anyway, I have never won at this game. I have never won at any roguelike at all, actually. And yes, I have never save scummed, though I have turned off permadeath in Dreadmore, but then I got bored. But that's a complete tangent to the current discussion. The current discussion is about Adam. It's definitely using a more muted color scheme as a whole than Crawl is, at least at this point. A lot more browns. and more obviously browns than that goldish brownish color that Crawl was trying to force. Just to give you an idea, this is the equipment screen, and again, brown and yellow and very earthen tones. And I think this is true of every character, not just Trollish Beast Fighters. Similar thing here, brown and yellow and some white. And the beginning screen uses this color scheme too. I think it's something that Biscup is very fond of. See, the quest screen uses a similar idea. The skill screen does. Yes, I have both healing and herbalism, which is great as a Trollish Beast Fighter, because that means I don't have to do either of the quests offered in these first two areas if I really want. Skills, no ones. Yeah, so a very unified color scheme, mostly consisting of white, brown, and yellow. Oh. Here we go. This is Torino, a tiny hamlet. A tiny hamlet consisting of a few primitive cottages, a shop, and a village hall. Trees grow peacefully between the small homes of the local populace. You feel at ease. By the way, in case you've played old versions of Adam and that message did not look familiar, I am in fact playing pre-release number 5, which is part of the current drive by Biscup and others to improve the game after the Indiegogo campaign that happened a while back. No, I do not have access to later pre-releases. I was dead broke during Adam's drive, which was very sad. But anyway, so before we were in an overworld, and now we have the more traditional one tile, what to one move screens, I guess you could say. And this is a small town, which is more of a gameplay difference between this and Crawl than anything. But still, so these T's represent townspeople, and they're different colors depending on what kind they are. Why does my... oh, there we go. This is Egast full, different color again. Random clothing and what appears to be a random gait as walk makes him look foolish. We are again using dots to represent floor tiles we can generally move into that are free. This time they are green to represent grass. A very sort of calm... oh. I forgot that meat has a shelf life. Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong keys because I keep thinking there are that the keys are like Crawls. As I said, it's been so long since I've played Adam. Talk to the tiny girl. Have you seen my little doggy? It's disappeared near the dark hole on the path. Fears to get lost. Would you get it back to me? Hurry! Mommy says there are bad things in the cave. Puppy quest, puppy quest. This is the village elder, who I'm not going to talk to because I don't need their quest. This is Guthalak, the druid. At sign instead of T because they are a player class, I believe. And, oh, if I was playing a druid, I would also be green right now. If I was playing a wizard, I would be blue, etc. I want to say that the colors are entirely class-based. They may be a mix of race and class-based, but anyway, I will take the Guthalak quest, actually. So, okay. You will reward me for dealing with Keithrax. Those T's are trees. Beautiful trees, apparently. Crawl actually uses extended ASCII in the case of trees. We didn't see any on the first level of the dungeon that time. But they are clubs, as in the playing card clubs. So, minor differences, but, you know, different aesthetics, different goals. And these equal signs here are representing water. Let's talk to baby water dragon as well. It's sad. Anyway, let's go to the puppy cave. I don't expect to survive very long in this game, so why not? So the puppy cave has now appeared here, and this is the standard dungeon. This is a hobgoblin. Again, different colors represent different types of a class, generally speaking, and this is almost certainly true in the Adam case. The doors are all brown now. An item. I believe that's a scroll. I'm almost certain. And one thing I haven't mentioned is the massive difference in AI. So, Adam puts as much of the map onto a single screen as possible, as opposed to Crawl, which forces you to scroll around to see the entire map. One other major thing to note is that instead of having, you know, putting all of the stats in a large display on the side and having graphical depictions of how your current hit points are and power points are doing, it's just numbers, and it's all in a very compact space down here. Again, it's a choice, and I happen to like Krell's semi-graphical inclusion for determining health and seeing at a glance what my health is. Some people really just prefer seeing the entire map and find the Krell scrolling map very disorienting. To each their own. Anyway. Open the door. Let's run down, because we're trying to get the puppy. Yes, I know there are ants here. So that G was a goblin rock thrower, so a goblin that would have thrown rocks at me if it had died, if it hadn't died. Z's for zombies. Gold pieces once again represented the same way, similarly with staircases. Unlike Crawl, there's no coloring for staircases once you have already passed them. But there we go. Some sticks. What was that message? Burden levels, quest status. I've forgotten so many of these names. It's terrible. Redraw screen, recall monster memory. Oh gosh. I feel so unprepared. Ascend stairs, chat with monsters, check literacy, clean your ears, close the door. Is there no way to check past items in the message? Ah, there we go. Here we go. So, again, contrast and Crawl, which had many multicolored messages, Adam Vanilla only has plain messages. And once again, a consistent interface of brown and yellow for commands and whatnot for the interface itself. But Okay, you sense a certain tension was the message I missed. Probably that again. H's are dwarves, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Which I think is a leftover from NetHack. But I do not remember precisely. Come on, I want to find this door. Oh gosh. That's different. Okay. But yeah, definitely a very different. So here's the rocks being thrown. Once again, percentiles for corpses. A lot of this is very similar to Crawl in terms of graphical interface, and in terms of what represents what. The main difference we should be noting, firstly, is the font choice and the fact that fonts are forced. And the other is that is a there we go. Puppy Cave 4 already. Good, good. Let's pick up that. I don't think I'll need that scale mail, but it's nice to have, I guess. So yeah, the big difference here is firstly the unified nature of the interface. The fact that, you know, colors are very consistent and there isn't much use of it, honestly, on a regular basis. Once again, these equal signs representing water, which I'm not going to try to swim in. Okay, I feel excited. That means the puppy's here. Yeah, because this is the 6th level of the Puppy Cave. I'm sure I'm not playing very well at all. I'm almost certain of it, actually. But that's okay. The goal of this series is not necessarily to do well in terms of... Let's increase healing. Then... dodge. Okay. So, once again, the carrots are traps. Different colors for different kinds of traps. Graphically, as I said, there isn't huge differences with... I'm just gonna... I've forgotten how to close doors. Oh, it's lowercase c. There we go. Caveman does not care about me, so will you leave me alone then? Oh, now you're not going to leave me alone. There we go. There is no auto-explorer now, I believe rather deliberately so. Though there is probably a run. So this is the puppy. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's get this puppy back. And it's a very... Adam as a whole is a very elegantly made game. I'm not gonna lie, it was probably my first of the major roguelikes, but I stopped playing it seriously after it turned out, after I realized that it wasn't in active development anymore. Of course, that being said, now that it is back, there may be many compelling reasons to start picking it up again. Are you actually going to help me fight, puppy? Anyway, increase healing, increase athletics. Ooh, another talent. Let me see. Let's take... Let's take careful. Because why not? It's probably not the best idea. Probably should just keep running. But here we are. Because tension rooms are interesting. Gameplay wise anyway. This is probably not very exciting for you all to watch. There we go. Come on, come on, dog. Let's go home. We can make it. We can make it. We're almost there. Yay! Thanks for getting back my puppy. True heroine. Yay! Anyway, I think, at least for the beginning, that should give you a good idea of the major differences. I may come back to Adam if I play through this game and play it well enough that I find interesting areas that are thematically interesting or beautiful in ways that otherwise wouldn't expect. Oh, here's a difference. Here is how shops are rendered in Adam. This is part of the... and the shopkeeper is an @ as opposed to a T. This is taking from, I think, the NetHack tradition, where shops are literal rooms with tons of items on the floor guarded by a shopkeeper. And you take those items and the shopkeeper moves to block the exit, and then you pay them and they let you pass. Crawl takes from a different tradition which is closer to, I believe, Angband, where you quote-unquote enter a shop, but it's more like you enter a separate interface of just, you know, a listing of items, and then you just pick items from the menu that you want to buy or sell. The big difference, of course, is the fact that there are ways to steal in shops like this that is hard, if not impossible, to do in shops like the Crawl and an Angband way, which is an interesting choice and is really at least partially a gameplay decision, but it also changes, of course, how much screen space you're taking up by having a shop in a game. So I think that is going to be it for me for now. In terms of just quickly looking at Adam and its differences between it and Crawl, it's still a very traditional roguelike look. It's definitely not completely changing anything. Further games we're going to look at really break the mold in terms of font choices, in terms of the whole concept of one color to represent a member of a particular class, which is represented by one, we're going to be and even the grid itself. We're going to be messing with all of these things in further episodes of exploring the ASCII Dungeon. And admittedly, once I get the hang of things in Atom, I might continue this LP a little bit. Maybe not showing you every move in every dungeon because I'm much more spoiler reliant in Atom than I am in Crawl, but some highlights now and then just to spice things up a bit. At any rate, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.